Welcome back to the AI Minds podcast. This is a podcast where we explore the companies of tomorrow being built AI first. I'm your host, Demetrios, and this episode, like every episode, is brought to you by DeepGram, the #1 text-to-speech, speech-to-text, and now voice agent API on the internet today, trusted by some of the world's leading enterprises, startups, and conversational AI folks. Some you may have even heard of, like Spotify, Twilio, and NASA. I'm joined by none other than the creator of Voice AI Space. How you doing today,
Yeah, I'm doing
Thibault?
good. I'm doing good. Yeah, all good. Thanks for having me.
There is a suit behind you, and that suit tells a story. Can
Yeah.
you give it to us?
Well, actually, that's because of this suit that I came into the voice AI industry. I worked as an events manager for many years, wearing a suit when I was serving people, pleasing people. Uh, and I quit my job 3 years ago, thinking like I can build something that will make events manager life easier. I can build a smart walkie-talkie. I can literally add a layer of smartness in a tool that we use every day. Walkie-talkie, human to human. I was like, okay, why not human to human and human to machine uh, for live translation, not taking information retrieval.
Yeah.
That's how I got into voice AI actually. And I'm doing my best to not get back into this suit by working hard on what I'm doing.
So basically, you keep it behind you, and it's a reminder.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. Now,
Penguin suit.
you got out of the suit, and you got into voice AI.
Yep.
How did it go from I'm going to help a events manager life with tech to now you're a very predominant figure in the voice AI space?
The story is literally the story of like I'm super happy, I fail, and I try to be happy again. Uh, Now, literally, we failed with this concept of smart walkie-talkie. It's not that we failed, but we start super early when the latency was quite bad. The French was like had a Canadian accent, and and probably also one step I'm a bit victim of the shiny object syndrome. So like literally every time something was new, I was like, yeah, let's switch, let's do this, blah 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 blah. And that's why what I'm doing right now is perfect. I'm literally like feeding myself with new stuff every day, like monitoring the web like a baby, like excited about everything new. So yeah, no, it's literally I failed with this startup. Say to myself, okay, don't cry on yourself. Share what you've learned. Uh, Build this stuff, starting with a product. Saying to myself, okay, no, product is cool, but what if I had the news? After the news, I was, yeah, but what if I had all the knowledge, tutorial and stuff? And after I was like, okay, if someone learn about the tech, the news, how to build, maybe he wanted to get himself a job, so I'm gonna add a job board. And once the guy has a job, maybe he want to attend events to network and meet peers. So let's have the events job board, not job board, events board. I tend to have too much ideas. I was like, okay, now I know that I will have more ideas. So I should find a concept where I can dump all my stupid ideas, which I call the lab. And in the lab, I'm literally testing stuff. Like you can go and check. There's like few SDK. You can test like different supplier in the same place. There's few more stuff on the background that I'm trying to develop. Not that easy, but pretty funny, I will say.
Well, we should maybe take a moment here to explain what exactly you built with Voice AI Space and how I understand how you came about building it, but what is it?
I will say it's something that I wish I had when I started in this space. You know, it's literally a website, a platform where if you're curious about learning or about finding a solution for your company, you can go and like have everything in one place. It's like I won't call it a central hub. Yeah, I put the name central hub, but sometimes I feel that it's too pretentious. Um, it's like a place where, like, I don't know, a central place where you can go if you're in the need of like information. If let's say if you're a developer, a VC, uh, someone who's curious or like whatever, like you can see in one place what's happening. At least I'm
Yeah,
trying to keep up.
exactly. I think that's probably the biggest value prop is that if you're working in the voice AI space and you go there, you can see what the newest is, but you can also poke around on pieces of the space that you may not even know about. And it gives you a very robust understanding of the whole voice AI space.
You should like you pitch it better than me. Thanks, man.
It's easier when you're looking at it from the
Exactly.
outside,
Yeah.
you know? And the other piece is, like you said, if you're a developer, you have certain toys that you can play with. If you're coming at it just from the angle of, I wanna learn more about voice AI, and you're not necessarily a developer, you also have toys by way of news. If you're a VC, you can understand what is happening in the space, and that I think is particularly attractive. Now, we mentioned also that we wanted to talk about why voice AI. For you, I think you have a certain affinity towards voice,
Yeah.
and maybe we can go into that.
Um, yeah, no, definitely. It's quite linked to the project I had in the past. Um, when you do events, you need to access a large amount of data, and you need specifically to allow your staff with new to events to get access to information super fast. So that's the beauty of voice AI. Anyone can like with the simplest way to do like voice access information. And if you think about it, this works also in education. The beauty of voice AI, I believe, and I keep like bragging it all over. Uh, it's not spamming people. It's not like replacing people. It's actually giving access to universal knowledge, and that's the beauty of AI actually. But with voice, you can bring something on top of this. It's literally like having a personal tutor in your pocket, but
Mm.
also like uh, yeah, also but with the constraint of like not pretending to be a doctor, but also allowing people to access a kind of medical uh, emergency line constantly. Like, you can bring education and medicine at large scale globally. So I truly think it's an amazing like use case for voice AI. And I also think that we may live soon in a world where robots will be all over. And I always say to myself, we won't communicate with robots type, tapping on their shoulder. We won't use mouth. We will need to like speak, and voice is the best API. So
Yeah, so there's a few use cases there that you mapped out that you've been seeing and that are particularly exciting. One is education with the tutor in your pocket. I really like that because it allows for anyone to have someone who is infinitely patient with your questions. And I, on one hand, absolutely love that because I've got a lot of questions and sometimes it takes me a little bit longer than the average bear to understand things.
uh,
And so this is perfect for that. The other use case that you mentioned that you're excited about is the use case around healthcare. And how have you seen it being used in the healthcare space that makes you really, like, get it, or how have you seen it being used in the healthcare space that is particularly fascinating?
there's a few way to look at it. There's the way where you literally make practitioner life easier. So Nabla, there's tons of like recorder, like when you go to the doctor, it records automatically your voice, transcript, and bam, everything is done, chuk, chuk, chuk. Uh, there's also like, I've seen few platform, I'm not gonna like say supplier's name, but like I've seen few platform where literally you can access a kind of doctor, like for specialized practitioner, like it's not about replacing once again, it's about like providing super quick access to people to like not someone, but something that know a lot, and we train on a specific knowledge, which is the medical knowledge. So that's well, it's one of my favorite stuff because there's lots of many parts of the world where like medicine is expensive, not accessible to all, and some part where medicine is literally like not inexistent, but like hard to access. So making people who work in medicine life easier, it's super cool because they work hard and they deserve like to have the tools to like chill out a bit if they can. And yeah, allowing someone in a, let's say, work country to use simply his mobile phone, at the cost is a question, to access, like, if you're in an emergency, you can literally call an online, will pick up and give you the first step of emergency, like, this could be like literally amazing.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, that's a really cool use case that I hadn't thought of before to help lessen the burden of the on-call emergency folks. If there are certain municipalities or cities that are just getting bombarded by emergency calls, and some of these emergency calls need medical attention or those first steps, as you're saying, that could be really useful. I'm a little bit weary that you're gonna hand over, like, the most high use case to a voice AI agent, but potentially what you can do is filter out the emergencies that aren't truly emergencies
Right.
so that the real emergencies get escalated to humans.
Yeah. I think 911 of there's experiment going on with this actually. Some companies are like testing this.
Now, the other thing that I was gonna think about when you talk about we're not gonna be interacting with robots by typing, one thing that I've noticed a ton, and maybe this is a cultural thing, is that a lot of people really want voice to be here and our interactions with our computers or our machines to be through voice. But there's a lot of times that I'm in public spaces interacting with my computer, and voice just doesn't make sense there unless I go into a little cubicle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's oh my gosh. It's one of the limitation of voice. How far can we, even in an office space, like, would you be able to speak to your laptop as if you're surrounded by 20 people? I've seen some solution work really cool actually. There's a French company in Toulouse who is developing a microphone that is so good at capturing the sound of your voice that even if you speak extremely quiet, the voice agent will be able to hear what you say. So
Wow.
that's like one way to like tackle this issue of speaking in public. Yeah, definitely. It's like it's not black or white. It's like always in the middle. There's some use cases where voice is definitely like the fastest way to go, and some others where like, yeah, typing will be needed. And I think the next big stuff could be like chip, and neural control and all this stuff. But we're not there yet. So like,
Now, you also mentioned there are ways that voice AI is being abused, and you do not like it. Can you go into some of that?
yeah, I think like most of us, I've been victim of this robot calling salesman trying to sell me. In France, it's quite good at selling roof energy. So like, enfin, like
Yeah, solar panels.
yeah, solar panels. Thanks. So now, yeah, no, literally like 2 to 3 times a day, I'm getting phone call like, "Hello, I'm na na na," and you're like, okay, fuck. Um,
And they don't identify themselves as
no, ouais.
voice agents.
Yeah, no. Of course, no, they don't, and they pretend to be human. Often they like the guy who set them up actually makes them act as if they were human, which is totally stupid because you can tell where it become like. So first of all, it's annoying for us individual, but where it become, I believe, like extremely bad, and there's some reports who are coming out. Fox News, I think, did like an article today, like saying estimating the cost of scam in the US on this. It's like honestly, it's shocking. Like lots of old people in particular are targeted.
Uh,
Are like, man, come on. And this is definitely an extremely bad use case for the industry. I've seen few people online on LinkedIn, big name in the industry, like starting to brag about this. I think like literally the entire ecosystem should come together and raise a voice against this. Because like if we keep going this way, regulation is going to be harder and harder and harder, and it's going to impact every single startup in the ecosystem. Like the big boys will be capable of like coping with the regulation, but small startup who are like pre-seed or whatever, like going through a regulation which will be tough because of a bunch of idiots who are not responsible, it would be like complicated. And even like it's not about the startup, it's like how can you scale around like someone with like, you know, like what kind of person are you to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because the incentives are there, so it's very hard to tell someone, "Hey, don't do this out of the good of your heart or out of this moral code that we have," right?
Yeah, but not, it may be hard to say, but like it's not all about the money. I'm sorry. It's my personal belonging. Maybe some people don't care about this and they just care about the amount of money on their bank account. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
simply,
so I agree with you. I in no way, shape, or form think that it is the way to go. I think the hard thing is that there's plenty of people that do, uh, and they don't agree with us, right? And so then that incentive is there for them to make a quick buck and do it. I do like what you mentioned to me though before we hit record, and you said whenever you get hit with one of those calls, you try to drag out the call as long as possible. And you also sign up to figure out who is the person providing this voice agent to
uh,
these folks because you want to see what the company is so you can almost like name and shame them.
yeah. I've done it a few times. Once I was really close to get the name of the company. And I nearly had someone like coming to install solar panel at my. Unfortunately, I'm in a flat, so I couldn't say to him like come because like he will probably have Google me, and I was like, no, I can't. Bref. But no way. My technique is just like, okay, you want to piss me off? Let me burn your token first, and let me try to go to the root and simply explain to you that what you are doing is perfectly legal. That I've got your phone number, which is probably a fake phone number, but I will try to get the name and report it. And specifically in France, what is quite annoying, not only in France, I guess, they pretend to work for governmental organization. So it's quite tricky. Like you're like not only spamming people, it's like I don't know the word in English, but like you know when you abuse someone's identity, it's extremely like bad.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I'm trying to spam the spammer in a way. And you mentioned earlier like that we should create like a kind of system where literally we are the bot, we have a bot, and we for getting this call and and making last as long as possible. That's a super good idea actually.
Yeah,
We
I
should
think the key there is you would have to have your voice agent be running on device so it doesn't
cost right.
cost you money
Right.
to burn the other's money. And so if there is a way that you can just forward whatever these like spammer calls to your voice agent, and then the voice agent is prompted to take up as much time as possible with the other agent, I can just imagine the solar panel company
Right.
getting a bill that is like, "What is going on? I thought we were using
Yeah.
this AI to close deals, but really this AI just cost us, uh, tens of thousands of dollars in OpenAI credits," or whatever they're using.
Right, and I can already see a website where you've got the funniest recording of an AI trying to sell an AI you don't want to be sold.
Yeah.
And
That would be great. That would be a
uh,
perfect one for voice AI space. That
yeah,
and well, so you see a lot of stuff in this space. You're very versatile. What, as you look forward, are different things that you're excited about in the voice AI space?
many stuff. Personal tutor, I mentioned it. I think is very cool. You mentioned edge on device. Once we get there, it will be like poof, like it will, I believe, transform the industry and allow large, super large scale deployments because like countries well the living wage is a bit low to afford like voice AI, we'll be able to jump on it. Yeah, edge, education, medicine, there's few. I don't know, like I'm like specifically this morning I've like added to the voice AI space like 2-3 companies from the YC who just like launched. One of them was from, I can't recall the name, but it was helping restaurants to answer their phone, and it may sound uh, not a gadget, but it may sound like okay, it's not a big deal. Trust me, I worked myself in a restaurant. I was on the side of events. There's nothing worse when you run a service and you're like super busy as F, and you've got your phone ringing. The receptionist is helping as much as she can on the floor, and you're like, "Darling, you need to go to get the phone," and she's like, "Nah, I can't." And after the service, you're like, "Fuck, I literally need to go through 20 voicemail, call people back, take notes of like so much." So that's it may sound stupid, but like it's a perfect use case where voice AI is super handy, like for working people, professional.
Mhm. Yeah, that's like I do like it's pinpointed, but there is a strong pain there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Right. Paying for the customer also, like because last weekend I went to the restaurant, I waited like probably 15 minutes on the phone,
Wow,
like and
wow. To make
I
a
guess
reservation.
yeah, to make a reservation. And
Wow,
it's quite common because people are busy, like they take the phone, yeah, bear with me one second, paf. And they keep you waiting while they speak to someone else, and which is normal. You can't blame them. But definitely there's ways to improve this.
wow. That's so cool. Are there any other ones that you've seen that caught
Mm,
your attention?
yeah, one step from you actually, Sagal.
Yeah.
That
Nice.
one. No, it's like
Have you been playing around with it?
yeah, yeah, kind of. Not as
Nice.
much as I want because I work super early in the morning. I tend to like keep all my coding stuff like extremely. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day for 5. So my girlfriend is sleeping, so I can't really speak to my laptop. Uh, I promise you, instead of typing on cursor, like I wish I can use this, but if I do it, like I'll probably get killed. So like I'd rather like stay alive and use my fingers and use my voice and type.
Oh, yeah. That's excellent, dude. Is there anything else that you wanna hit on before we go?
No,
Anything
no, no,
that
it's
we
cool.
didn't talk about yet?
Uh, yeah, maybe like I'm planning as well, as you may have got. Well, I'm passionate about events, and I'm trying to merge my two passion into one stuff, which is organizing some small meetups for people who are in the voice AI space, for voice AI industry, uh, to catch up. And the beauty of it is, as I'm not myself a company, I can bring like people from like multiple company together, like to capture chat, and the industry is so big and the market so huge that I believe that people in this industry should unite and not, you know, and not fight in a way. Uh, so yeah, that's more or less my current like obsession now is doing events. Keep pushing stuff into the library of the website and organizing some cool events.